Randy, you see, it's important that we call a spade a spade. I have videos here that show with even Okoboy's PA in the video. Bustling of people from outside the country.
I also have videos of Ayuku.
No.
And I've told you that.
No, you sat here and painted a picture.
I said you can move someone from Sprinters. No, I said you can move someone. Sorry.
Masa, relax.
Oh, man, but I said you can move people from one point in the constituency to the other. If they are in the bus, it is bus, but it's within the community.
So you let me finish. So you let me finish.
Yoshi and Sunday, Ebawabu, call Yoshi and Sunday.
Hanima we Sunday. Can I continue? Randy, the videos I have, because I'm the chairman of the Greater Accra Youth Working Committee.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so I'm not just the MP for Ningo Pram Pram, but Greater Accra Youth Working Committee. I'm the chairman of the Youth Working Committee. So the whole region, I have my team working there. And yesterday, my team had to intercept people coming from.
Hey, what you mean?
So
the interception happened.
No.
Because it was passing people from outside the constituency. And I must salute the youth commander, Amos.
But the police must.
I must say.
Some guys must be invited.
I salute him and Gideon Hammond and the team.
There were some outsiders who came
for the interception that was done yesterday in Lejokuku, the interception done in Adenta, and we will continue to do those interceptions.
But you see, about 30 guys.
Randy.
George,
Randy, I welcome.
Okay.
I welcome the decision.
I welcome
the decision.
Okay,
for Baba.
Hey, but no, please serious. To pass Macho Man.
I welcome. Nobody has said they bust anything. We simply stopped you from committing a crime. But you see, Randy, I welcome the fact that today in government, Okoe has forgotten the marking scheme of the NPP. They care, let us not use price shifts and price movements. Okay, it's fine. I agree. Let's not do that.
Let's look at the movements.
But if we look at the movements from 1 point,
speak about what
from 1.2 to 3.9 is how many percent in percentage increase?
From 1 to 3.9 it's about 400%.
It's not 400%. It's 1.2 to 3.9. It's not 400%.
Me no about 1.2. Me get 1 to 3.9. About 1.2. Me no have
J Bank of Ghana figures in what use.
Emily John, go to the source.
Bank of Ghana website.
It was 1 to 3.9.
Look at you.
But if you use that, what's the percentage?
1.2 to 3.9 is about 340%.
That is very significant.
Wait. 3.9, Randy.
That's a lot of movement.
Oh yes, I agree. 340% is a lot of movement. But when you do 340%.
From Sam George himself.
But when you do 3.9 to 15.5, it is 397%.
The owner, it was 40 to 50 years.
397%. Percentage.
No, 340.
340%. No, 397.
That would have disturbed the ordinary Ghanaian too. You see the thing?
No, but you use that
because no can start or any percentage.
Randy.
340.
Ni Okoe if it didn't.
Neke okay JC.
No, so Randy. Yeah. You know, so I welcome this discussion. Now let us look at what was our debt portfolio, because the debt portfolio affects the stability of the currency. John Mahama left us a debt portfolio of 120 billion Ghana cedis. That's a lot. 122 billion Ghana cedis. And we said it was unconscionable. I mean, how could John leave us such debt, staggering debt of 122 billion? Meanwhile, as we sit today, we have crossed 670 billion under Bawumia and
what percentage of GDP was
670 billion. But you see, Randy, again, in all fairness, Japan's debt is like in trillions of dollars. So debt itself is not bad. But you must see what the debt has been used for. So for John Mahama's 120 billion Ghana cedi debt, I saw Kwame Nkrumah interchange. And I used to use that road, Randy. I used to spend 40 minutes, Randy. And if you remember, Randy, when we were at the old place, there was a day you told me the next time I come late, you will not let me ever come on your show again. Because I used to be perennially late. Jane Fortney, I leave home at 6 o'clock, but I always go to the show late. Today, thanks to Kwame Nkrumah interchange. Ni John Mahama fail from that 120 billion. Andy, I get here early because I don't spend more than 3-4 minutes at Kwame Nkrumah Circle. Andy, from John Mahama's 120 billion, we saw the Kaswa interchange, which is 3 interchanges. Everybody knows what is to happen at Kaswa. We saw the change there. From that 120 billion, we saw the Obechebi Lamte interchange, phase 1. We saw the Terminal 3. That has become the cynosure of West Africa and Africa. In fact, Terminal 3 has on 2 consecutive occasions after it was built won the best airports in Africa. John Mahama's legacy, 120 billion. And that 120 billion, the Tema-Mpakadan railway line, AME. In that 120 billion, the Tema interchange that came from JICA in there. In that 120 billion, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, not what all a region, we see it in there. We see the University of Ghana Medical Center, that was in that 120 billion. We see the Regional Maritime University Hospital, that was in that 120 billion. We see the Bank of Ghana Hospital, where the ministers of President Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, who got COVID, went and got treatment. All from John Mahama's 120 billion. Efiam Kwanta Regional Hospital. And I'm mentioning hospitals because the Minister for Health is here. And he can admit to all of this, that I'm not lying about these hospitals. All in the 120 billion. We saw President Mahama lay the longest fiber ring. 770 kilometers of optic fiber. Eastern Corridor fiber. We saw the building of the National Data Center and the construction of over 100 community enhanced information centers. All in 120 billion. As for the e-blocks, over 45 of them fully completed and operational. Under John Mahama, 120 billion. We saw the Tamale Airport, where for the first time our fathers and mothers who were going for Hajj didn't have to do the perilous journey by road to Accra before flying. They flew from Tamale straight to Mecca. We saw the phase 1 of the Kumasi International Airport. All done, 120 billion. We saw the KJTR market and the Kotokraba market, all from the 120 billion. In fact, that part of that 120 billion was the Cape Coast Isipon Stadium. All 120 billion Ghana cedis. Now the man who has done 670 billion and counting, all he can account for is free SHS, which we are told has cost us 11 billion. So the rest of the money, Randy, in the sky, we need to ask ourselves, what can I have given you off the top of my head? At least 25 projects from the 120 billion for John Mahama. Randy, you are the host, but I plead with you, give Okoe 5 minutes to name 20 projects under this NPP government from the 670 billion that Bawumia has pretended. You see, he says Bawumia will come and tell us he can do this to the currency, and we don't want to hear what Bawumia says he will do. He is vice president now. He is head of the economic management team now. What is he doing? Andy, what you pass your Beba Wuntuma? Bawumia is currently in charge of the economy. What has he done to the currency? What is it that he says he will make the port the same price as Togo? Why is he not doing it now? Bawumia says he will take out e-levy and betting tax. But Bawumia is the same person who introduced the e-levy and betting tax. So how can we believe the man who brought it? This is not about Fastia and Nemami. This is about what his legacy and work is. Why is Bawumia not speaking about corruption? Randy, I challenge anybody in the NPP to send a video to you right now for you to play. All of Bawumia's stores, Bawumia speaking on corruption. Bawumia can speak on corruption because he himself is a beneficiary of corruption. His brothers are beneficiaries of corruptly awarded contracts. He can speak on corruption.
All right. Okay.
So if such a person is coming to tell us that he's all of a sudden, after we vote for him, he's not constructed a road for chiefs, yet he met chiefs in Ashanti region and told them he's going to construct their roads, yet he's vice president.
Okay.
John Mahama, we know what he did. And as for roads in the Ashanti region, the chiefs know that they go to work, and by the time they are coming home, their roads have been asphalted by John Mahama.
I'm willing to go. Okay.
Doc,
yes.
Let me say that, you see, fortunately for us, former President John Mahama is someone who has had the opportunity to govern this country. So we have a good idea of his record. 2012, I have some data here from the Bank of Ghana. The cedi depreciation between 2012 and 2022 was 15.9%, 12.8% in 2013, In fact, in 2014, 32.5% currency depreciation. 2015, 15.7%. 2016, 9.7%. 2017, 4.9%. 2018, 8.4%. 2019, 12.9%. And then 2020, 3.9%. Doc, if you check, before we had this global issue with the pandemic where it affected revenues of countries and disturbed the, how do you call it, macroeconomic picture, which John Mahama himself mentioned when he went to Harvard, it was clear the record of JM when it comes to even managing the city versus us. And I'm happy that on this show, Sam George has told us that when he does his own calculation, the currency depreciated by 340% within the 8 years of the NDC administration. Compared to 390. Fine. That's if I'm even going by figures. But if you have someone who has supervised 340% depreciation of the currency, if he wants to come back again, well, it is not a crime. But that person has a lot of work to do in terms of telling us how he's going to.
Oh, please. The money for 397.
My submission is such that I respect the one who is watching this show. I want the one watching this show to know that under one, going by George's figures.
In fact, I'm just corrected. It's 325%. I've just done the once. It's 325%. Yeah, 325%.
No problem.
What's more famous?
Oh, Doc,
3.9 times 100. 3.9 times 100 divided by 1.2.
Don't worry, I'll even
it's
go.
325.
Doc, I will go with that. Doc, Nakanyo, it's more bay.
Oh, no more bay.
Oh, 325. Please. Doc, 325 versus 390. The point is that 397. Because I respect the viewer, I'm just prompting the viewer that the two options you have December, under them, currency depreciation crossed 300%. And so you need to be told something beyond just, it's bad, let the other one come. That is what, and the viewer understands what I'm saying. So not three more.
No.
I'm a question.
Maybe a question.
One more time.
Oh, no problem. Question come up. So the 397 person who having witnessed the 320 something gave a lecture and gave everybody the prescription to save the city and pointed everybody to that source. You know, to wit. I mean, if you are that daft, I have provided the solutions. Just go and click and read it and implement it, and you'll be fine.
Oh, Doc.
And the person is given the opportunity, and this is the performance.
Doc,
you say that the people will do it.
Doc, my point is that if we should not assume that those watching don't know or are not aware that John Mahama was president before. So they know that under John Mahama, we had people who were struggling in this country. In fact, the reason why Ghanaians voted John Mahama out was that life was not easy.
Because you promised them better.
No, I understand. Let's even add that I will promise them better. Even if by your estimation it's not been better, they know that to go for John Mahama again, there's a lot of issues that we have to discuss. That's the point I'm making. The two entities, John Mahama, Bawumia. For me, where I sit, immediately Bawumia was made the flag bearer. He enumerated a number of reasons, Doc, giving account for why we are having the state that we're having as a country, and said he showed how he was going to turn things around. Following for me, I've not seen a presentation or submission which I can put out.
What did Bawumia say he will do to change the economy? He said free SHS, training allowance, 1 constituency, 1 ambulance, free water and light for a year, and free dialysis. That's all Bawumia has said. What else has he said?
Okay, no problem. Doc, let's assume all Bawumia said was empty. I am looking for James' document.
He's put out over 60 policy initiatives. We'll do 1 million coders. Okay, you want to know James' policies?
It's okay, it's rhetorical, it's okay.
You don't want to hear again. I'll tell you what James' policies are. For example, what we are going to do with factories, what we are going to site factories where raw materials are, and not the populist one day. You know, John has the 24-hour policy and all the things about it. How we are going to make sure that we cut down the waste in government by having only 60 ministers.
You have told him so. It's okay.
Randy, I was just warming up. There's plenty.
It's okay.
John has done 65.
We don't have time.
Thank you, professional Doc. Doc, Sam George added that I should list 20 projects. I'm a view on name the projects. I said, look, You said you were using circle. Life was difficult. Today, I drove through the how do you call it, Lekma Road. With this rain, if Lekma Road had not been there, people will be passing through some Ramsar sites. Life was not easy.
Lekma
in Lejukuku alone, Lekma Road.
One.
In Lejukuku alone, dualization of the Sprinters Road by Simain, called the contractor, is going on. Anyone who drives on Sprinters. But of course, it's a that's money and money. Please, Sam George. Do you finish the project before you expand on
everything I have said? I have is a completed project. Please. I didn't mention uncompleted project.
I drove through it. I drive through it every day. So once it's added value to the community and
add your public toilets. Add your public toilets. Because that's what your government is proud of.
I was board chairman at Kolebu. When I was there, their pediatric unit, until First Lady became First Lady. In fact, the current medical director in Kolebu, he wrote a piece. He said he never dreamed that in his lifetime he will work in a unit that is modern. Today, Piku. Please.
Reach.
But I should mention projects. The pediatric intensive care unit, even that it was built.
That was private funding. Private people who contributed.
Please, the facility. He's an First Lady.
Hello, First Lady. If
he's not an appointee, he's an actor. He mobilized resources. Please.
Okay, Mahabo, two.
And how do you call it? In Kolebu again, the urology and nephrology center. The last time I visited there, an ultramodern place that will make sure that now Ghana even would engage in medical tourism for people to come and do this thing. How do you call it? It's not three. I've mentioned Lekma Road. I've mentioned the dualization of the Sprinter Road. Please. As we speak. Even as we speak, the Obechepi, the one going to Kolebu, any objective viewer knows that this is a project that's about 98%.
Like I wrote
that one too. It's loans that is paying for it. I was in Parliament when we passed the phase 2. University of Ghana Medical Center. And let me say it, sometimes the propaganda makes us forget the details. If Akufo-Addo's government had not approved the phase 2 loan, nobody could have entered UGMC for medical care.
UGMC was being used before the loan came.
UGMC, look.
Were people not going to UGMC before you brought the phase 2 loan?
Listen,
UGMC
had not
five channel
until this government came. Not one person received care for malaria in UGMC.
It's not true.
I was part about 7th Parliament. Don't you know we passed phase 2 to operationalize the hospital?
And the hospital was already operational. What you use?
How can an hospital that is operational come for
your predecessor held the presser and said that
what are you talking about?
They couldn't operationalize the place because there was no
generator.
Please.
Generator.
See, Doc, this is what they say to people.
I hate generator. And you say the person who built the hospital.
So, see, Doc, I am telling you that it's because
you've mentioned 5.
In Ghana's 7th Parliament, listen to me very well. In Ghana's 7th Parliament, we passed a loan facility in the millions of dollars. I don't remember the
for what?
To operational.
For what?
To operationalize the hospital. The testing of all the theaters. They call it testing. They have to pass through some gases through. It was done when we were in office.
But the theaters had been installed by John Mahama.
But please.
Oh my goodness.
Now we are talking about.
And Kume, Doc, you know Fomina, I'll be going to Kumasi in 2 weeks time. The Fomina Hospital.
Yes.
They moved into it recently.
6.
It's a new facility built under us.
6.
Kumewu Hospital. It's a new facility built
7.
Under us. Tolon has a medical facility
8.
built under us.
Those three hospitals. Use the Dodowa, the Weta, and the Fiamanta for that one. Give me a hospital like UGMC that you have built.
Takwa and CM built, started and finished under Akufo-Addo. Wasa Dunkwa started and finished under Akufo-Addo. Bogoso Hospital started and built. You see, they talk like, list.
This only help. Hospitals. No.
This only help.
But if you want us to do hospitals that your mama built, he built more hospitals than you.
Okay, all right. Call you a marble too. You see,
and you are saving him by the bell.
No, we don't have time.
I will buy 10 minutes. My head 10 minutes.
Okay.
You have me be learning. Okoe should mention 20 projects.
How many have I mentioned so far?
You mentioned 6.
Hey!
He's mentioned 6. One day I am buying 10 minutes. Let your management give me a bill. Let's stay on for 10 minutes. Mention 20 projects.
Construction and equipping of accident and emergency center at Doma Hospital. Check with people at Doma. Doc,
you are doing one at Doma Hospital.
Please.
I'm buying 10 minutes. Give me proper projects. I mentioned the railway. I mentioned airport.
So for those,
hospitals.
those in Formina,
if you are doing small units in a hospital, Randy,
so in
time I hear Minerals Commission time.
So the Minerals Commission, I'll buy from you. 30 minutes.
All I want to say is that
you can't mention 20.
Why gold be at a time?
No. The message.
But very soon he will tell you that setting up the Minerals Commission and appointing the CEO is an achievement of government.
Doc, the message is very simple. Luckily for Ghanaians,
yes,
they are presented with two candidates who have all had the opportunity to serve in very high places in government. They all have a record. By the time JM finished the 8 years as vice president, Ghana had landed at the IMF. Very interestingly, by the time we are also completing our 8 years, we are in an IMF.
Two different programs. One was for policy credibility.
I said, please, Doc. I said,
my 5 for 3 billion.
My candor will not stop in politics.
Okay.
What I'm interested in is transformation of the Ghanaian's life. So I'll tell you the picture as it is, and warn you that ask them what they want to do for you, and don't only be swayed by the emotional, architecture and display that we've seen from George.
I'm not doing it. I'm using President Kufuor's words as my last words. So I was sitting in Nafatu Abapa.
Okay. Now.